Hello, beautiful people. It's your host, Madeline, and you're listening to the Embrace the Madness podcast. So, welcome back. If you've never been here before, hi, how are you? This is Madeline. This is a place where we just talk about human stuff and how to get through our human stuff because some days it's really hard, and I feel like lately it's been really hard. And I'm sure a lot of that's because I haven't really been too on top of my self care, but it's getting better every day. But yeah, it's just some days, as you probably know, are a lot worse than others. And it's literally like, okay, cool, I made it through today. I can take a sigh of relief and get ready for tomorrow because who knows what it's going to bring. So if you've been feeling like that, I promise you're not alone. I think, yeah, as we've talked about, this whole entire year has just been like, so, but I think we have been figuring out how to manage it. And okay, yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to let up. So we just have to kind of get ready. So I feel like we've been doing that. And at this point, we're kind of just almost reaching like burnout. Like, holy shit, is it ever going to end? And uh, I feel like a lot of the overwhelm is just like dealing with political stuff and the election happening and just that whole thing being a shit show, and everything everywhere you look is like shit show party. And I think we maybe just need to start dancing. Just like know that we're going to the party and just dress up, look our best, and just dance all the cares away. Because really, I feel like that's all we can do. And yeah, I think that's where like DJing and stuff really helps me to get grounded, is just like when you put those headphones on and you're listening to music, like you're just in another world. And if it's music that you particularly enjoy, it's kind of like creating an environment where you are experiencing joy. So I'm thankful that I have that to kind of lean onto in times like these. So yeah, find your joy, figure out what you can do to create more smiles in your day-to-day life, and they will carry you. So, I guess all of that being a preface for the topic of what I wanted to talk about this week, and that's just dealing with overwhelm and what do you do when you just feel like you're like a cup of hot tea, like all the way to the top, and you're like trying to carry it up or down the stairs. Like, that's how I've been feeling. Like, at any moment, my tea could just slosh off and like just splat on the floor. So, and it's like a really weird, uncomfortable experience to have. And then, especially to have it like more than a small amount of time. I've been feeling overwhelmed maybe the last like week and a half, if not more. And it's just like, it's so hard to find grounding. And it's just like, you don't even know why it's happening. And you're just like, you want something to stop, but you're not sure what it is that you want to stop, or you do know and you don't know how, or you feel overwhelmed and you just feel like you can. And I think that is a big paralyzing thing for me. And if you are feeling paralyzed, then trust that you're going to get out of it, because I feel like I've been slowly getting out of it. And like, I'm taking sips of my tea. There's not much that can slosh on the floor. Like, it's doing good, and I'm managing that, and I'm managing how I feel about certain things, and it's really looking up and it's doing great. So I just wanted to talk about it and talk about how I've been kind of managing it, and some ways that I think are really helpful to kind of assess your own level of overwhelm. And if and what you can do to kind of alleviate that. So, so let's talk about like what overwhelming is. Because I think we know kind of how it feels. So, like, if you need to figure out if you're feeling overwhelmed, definitely like if you're having anxiety. I think that was like my number one probably marker for me to just be like, whoa, girl, you need to chill. You are just like thinking up stuff that doesn't need to be thought about and figuring out solutions to problems that probably aren't even going to happen and like stressing out about all these things. I mean, they seem important in the moment, but like looking back, it's not really important. And so like anxiety for sure. I know irritability has been a common thing that I've been experiencing the last week and a half, and I think that just stems from like kind of like I mentioned, not really knowing what it is that's like bringing you to your breaking point and like getting really frustrated. That's another one, frustrated that you can't figure it out or whatever you're trying isn't working. And so I think that just adds like an extra layer of just like, I'm not having it. I'm not in the mood. And that's just, I feel bad when I notice myself in those moods. And I know it's so hard, like in the moment, to brush everything aside and just be completely present. But I've just noticed, ooh, I don't like when I'm in that space and I don't necessarily talk respectfully to the people around me and or at least as respectful as I can. And yeah, so irritability, frustration, anger, I feel like that is kind of like a no-brainer. I know definitely just with all the stuff around the election happening and media going back and forth, blah, 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 blah. I get angry sometimes and like I have to force myself off the internet, like off the news, off the Facebook, off the Reddit. And it's so funny, like sometimes my phone will freeze and it will like get out of something or it will just like go to the main screen. I guess like it just had a little glitch. But like I always like take that as like a sign that I need to get off or switch it up, switch gears, change what I'm doing because it's so easy to get caught into the loop and then you're just like in a funk. And I think we absorb a lot of stuff unconsciously. And so yes, I think it's important to be informed for sure. I mean, I don't really want to go living under a rock and like ignorant to the things that are happening in the world, but I do think it's like almost self-preservation to just be really 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 aware of your behaviors and what you're doing, when you're doing it, how much you're doing it, and just being really really diligent about assessing your levels because that's what I'm learning too is like if I let this go unchecked, I'm absorbing all this energy that I can't release. And I think that's what's creating a lot of the overwhelm too. Just like I just couldn't watch the debates because like it's not going to change what I already know. And I think I know like what is going to happen and like so and so is going to say whatever and the other one's going to dodge a question and all these things and like I had to just say, "Look, I cannot do this. I cannot I'm not willing to let go of my sanity and my emotional groundedness to expose myself to this." And I mean, if you watch it, that doesn't mean anything bad about you. I just maybe you're better at dealing with it and absorbing things because have some pretty porous boundaries when it comes to that. And I'm just working on kind of creating a safe environment where I can build confidence in what I believe and what I'm trying to bring into my life. And so for now, I cannot, I just can't. So, yeah, being really aware of what you are taking in, I think is really important. And what else makes you feel overwhelmed? Yeah, if you're not really communicating well, if you're feeling like a lot of physical tension in your body, if your head's hurting, if you're having anxiety, there's just a lot of, well, yeah, it's just like overwhelm is kind of this umbrella. And it's like there's a lot of physical symptoms and a lot of emotional and mental symptoms. So it's really just like, it's just like this whole entire just cloud. So I have been dealing with how kind of paralyzing it is. And I just wanted to share what I've been going through and what I'm learning and what's helping me. I really think I don't know what I would do without a therapist right now. Like, it's just been such a humongous help. And I just, like, there's literally no words. So if you're thinking about it, do it. But she really helped me to kind of look at the bigger picture and just say, okay, what do you have control over and what do you relinquish control of? What can you release? What can you let go? And surprisingly enough, my tarot spread for the month is talking about, like, my personal theme is not overextending myself emotionally, and I am feeling that so flippin' hard. But yeah, I think it's like one thing and we're like, "Oh yeah, I have control of this or I don't." And I shared that in a previous episode, and there's a lot I think that we feel out of control with, especially in our external environments and just 2020 as a whole, and I think that kind of leads to more feelings of overwhelm. And so, yeah. So that has been a humongous help because if you make a list, like, there are so many things that we do have control over. And one of those is how much we're gonna tolerate something. Like I was saying with social media and the internet, we have control over whether we're going to read it or not or scroll or not. We have control, and we have control about over how we feel. We have control over what we say, what we do. I know a lot of it seems like it's unconscious and we don't have control, but when we can truly tap in, we really do have control over a lot, even our thoughts. And I think that's something that I have to remember too is, like, I have a choice of whether I want to get stuck in a yucky spiral or a happy spiral. And my ego is literally like, no, you don't. Like, we can go here and we can stay here and we can't get out. And it's just like, okay, you're not even making logical sense. So let's flip that really fast. So, yeah, thinking about all the things you have control. And I encourage you to make a list because it will literally be a lot more things than you thought you did. And and then, like, on the other side, what can you let go of? What can you release? I think a lot for me is other people's emotions and feelings and release the need to control that and release the need to control my environment. I think it's important to kind of build what I want in a reality, but I also need to kind of loosen up on the control because, as we know, like, we can't control everything. And I think the more we try to, we get disappointed when we don't, or any of that stuff. Yeah, that will be on the other side of, like, the control, and it's really just a cool experiment, and it kind of is empowering to know, okay, I do have control over a lot of things, and even though it doesn't seem like it, I can do this. Another one that I found helpful too is kind of, I guess, outside of emotional overwhelm. Like, say you're at work and you have a million things to do and you don't have any clue how to move forward or stuff like that. So I have found it really helpful to break it down and pretend that is like, okay, I need to bake some cookies. Well, that's like your big goal. And in order to break it down, you do the steps. What is it going to take to get the cookies? You're going to need the stuff to make the cookies. You're going to need to know how long to cook them, for what to cook them, blah, blah, blah. And that's, I mean, at least two things that are broken down. So when you need to get the stuff to make them, go to the stores, one. Then you need to break down a list of all your ingredients and just really creating these things where they become very manageable steps that don't seem overwhelming and feel like you can accomplish things. There's like a car that's beeping its horn, and I'm not sure if you can hear it. Probably not. I feel like so silly every time I'm like, oh, yeah, so and so's outside, the train's so loud. And it's like you can barely hear it in the podcast, but that's good. That's good. I'm sorry to change the subject. I just get a little distracted sometimes. So breaking it down has helped really, and it really just helps. I love like the dopamine rush of crossing off stuff off a list. It's really nice. If you've never done it, I urge you to do it because you're just going to feel so rewarded and so proud of yourself, and it's all going to be magical. And number 3, I guess I haven't really been numbering them, but like another thing that I have to be mindful of, which is also something that I do have control over, is filling my cup. And when I say filling my cup, I just mean like doing those things, like I mentioned earlier, doing those little things that bring you joy, filling up your cup with things that you love doing, things that make you happy, people that you feel just I think the word's unexplicably amazing. And you are just, I love who I am, blah, blah, blah. Like filling your cup is all of those things. And if you don't know what fills your cup, then I would totally encourage you to think about it and think about what makes you happy and think about what you enjoy doing and stuff like that. And you'll notice the more you fill your cup, the more you are able to return that energy to people and be kind to people and not feel so overwhelmed. And I really think filling your cup is kind of like grounding yourself and getting to this place where you aren't worried and you don't feel overwhelmed and you feel really at peace and calm and stuff like that. And I think that has been a huge, 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 huge missing piece of my kind of last couple chunks of time. Yeah, I wasn't working out, no physical activity. I just kind of had just like this space where my anxiety is like bumping off the ceiling and bouncing everywhere and nowhere to go except crazy thought patterns. But that's helped immensely. I think putting on good music, doing my kind of DJing to get grounded and do things I love, listen to podcasts that make me really happy. Actually, I'm working on this list that is called Self Care Looks Like, and just a bunch of different things for me to remember that I have in my tool belt to use when I'm feeling down or feeling tired or spiritually like, ugh. And so I know that from previous experience and just getting to know myself that a lot of my overwhelm, a lot of my irritability happens when I have not taken the time to kind of return to myself and give myself those things that are going to make me feel good. And so I definitely encourage you to do all of that. But feeling overwhelmed is like, it's overwhelming. I don't want to define it with the definition, or with the word, but it's just been hard. I mean, tomorrow might be a completely different story because I might feel like, ugh. But I mean, I am recording this a day before it's supposed to happen, so we'll actually come out on Mondays like I wanted it to, and I don't feel stressed out about it, and I know it needs to get done, and so I'm doing it. And yeah, yeah. But if you are feeling overwhelmed, just remember that you have so many people out there that care about you and that want you to see through this. And you do have so much control and so much power than you think you do. And you are able to use that to fill your cup back up and get things situated. And I believe in you. You just got to believe in yourself. If you want some more tips, things that might help you, more podcasts, you can check out my Patreon. I just launched it last month and we're in the second month. It's super cool. And I've got some sweet peeps in there with me. And yeah, I just recorded a cool meditation. If you are thinking about meditating or thinking about maybe exploring kind of that side of things, if you need stuff to help you not feel overwhelmed, you should come check it out and see what is in there. The link is patreon.com/embrace the madness. You can see it in the description. And if you check me out on social media, you'll see it. But just hang in there. We're doing great. We're almost done. But we got to keep fighting. So, with all that being said, I hope you have a great week and I hope you, yeah, remember your strength and don't let the tea splat on the floor. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Have a good day. Bye. This is Madeline. Bye. If you'd like access to more podcasts and a postcard each month, check us out on patreon.com/embrace madness.